Hey guys, this is Odd1 Gaming. This is going to be another King Arthur Legends Rise video. In today's video, we're going to talk about one of the weirdest stages in the Forbidden Dungeon that I've ever encountered that gave me a little bit of a headache, right? So this stage is a little bit more complicated because of what it brings to us, and the one I'm talking about is going to be the B92 of season 3, right? Depending when you watch this might be a different stage. We might still encounter this in the future seasons, but at least for now it's season 3 B92. So you kind of have to deal with it because it has some complicated things happening, and the main thing that is a major concern, it's a major problem with the stage is you're facing 4 of these druid shamans, right? But the issue with this one is not necessarily the damage, not necessarily the debuffs or survivability, but it's this one, right? All of them have this passive that's called Small Comfort that says like this: after an ally dies, revives 2 allies with 100% of their max HP, right? So all of them have the same passive, and this passive has no cooldown, right? This is extremely complicated to deal with. You can keep killing them, they keep reviving, keep killing them, keep reviving. So the only way that you can deal with this, or the way that you can deal with this is by bringing certain control to deal with this stage. Now, one of them is to have Oblivion, right? Oblivion is one of those debuffs that are brought by people like Lot, for example. So if you go to negative effects, let me show you. So as an example, what I have, Oblivion, I have Lot that does that, and then there's also going to be Florentius, but it's only with this specific relic. Now, what does Oblivion do? Let me just show you. So if you go to Lot's relic, the Frost one, it says over here, Oblivion, the target forgets how to use passive skills. The passive skills that are already triggered will not be cancelled. And also target effect accuracy decreases by 5%. So what you can do is, if you have somebody that brings good enough Oblivion, you'd prefer to have it AoE, right? Because you want on all 4, it's the same units. So you'd prefer to bring something like this so they do not use that passive. Now, obviously there's going to be some other ones that you can use. You can use stuff like, we have Oblivion. Then you can use stuff like stun. If you have somebody that brings AoE stun, that can help as well. Like, for example, he brings stun, but only single target. Then another one that can bring stun, single target, is going to be Arthur. Then, you get the gist. Now, the team that I'm going to show you actually is an uncommon. Uncommon, that is an MVP. You might have already seen it on the thumbnail. But it's going to be this team over here, right? So I'm using Bedivere as my damage dealer, which you don't need Bedivere. Whoever is your strongest damage dealer, if you have somebody that's stronger that's also Flame, that's going to be better, because obviously you're going to be doing more damage against the storm that you're facing. So he is in the spot as well. He's my best build DPS, but again, it can be anybody else. Then we have Sergius, which is a monster, right? Sergius is a monster for, honestly, I'm using him in a ton of my teams because of the kit that he brings. So he's in the team, and the cool thing about him is he's free. Everybody can buy a copy of him from the arena, and then you can get his flame relic. You really want the flame relic from the clan shop, right? Pretty easy, free to play, anybody can get him. Then next one's Morgan. Again, everybody can get Morgan. You kind of prefer to have a C3, but it's not mandatory, just the damage might be tricky. And then the MVP of this fight is Cailleach, right? The uncommon. So pretty much the reason why Cailleach is so good for this fight is because whatever it is, brings AoE control, right? So the thing that he brings, for example, in the Storm Relic, it brings Root Binding. Let me see, I don't remember if I exactly got it from the beginning, but let's see, do I do that? So I do that, and you see that Root Binding. Pretty much what that does is they don't get a turn. They forget, they do not act. So pretty much they're stuck up until either they're killed or when they, get the turn and that falls off, and then, they can start getting a turn. So if they have that while you're killing one of the ones, so for example, all 3 of these ones have Root Binding. If I kill the one on the left, they're not going to trigger their passives. They're not going to be able to revive it. So that's kind of the goal. You want to try and keep them controlled, or at least 3 out of the 4. And then when you kill the 4th one that doesn't have any of those controls effects on them, right? The abnormal status, I guess, would be some of these that are important. Then they're not going to be revived. That's kind of your goal. It might require some RNG. It might require you to rerun it a few times, because well, you know, again, depends on the luck when you landed and so on. Plus, there is some turn limit that you got to keep in mind, so that can make it a bit tricky. But you see, the way that I'm dealing with it is I keep spamming Morgan's skill 2 from her flame relic, which keeps pushing the attack gauge back. Also, because I have her, again, chivalry 3, she does land that damage taken increase and defense decrease, which allows me to kill them faster. Then I keep spamming the third skill when I have it with Sergius, which you see he gives us 500 attack gauge, which is massive. It allows us to keep rotating. Obviously, with Cailleach, I just use the third skill to keep trying to get them controlled. And then with Bedivere, either the second skill or the first skill, whatever, depending on how much vigor I need. You see, for example, I only had 2 vigor. I used only the first skill because I want to rotate back to my skills. I want to come back to Cailleach. I want Cailleach to go as often as possible to keep them controlled so that I can start killing them. So for example, now I would like to kill these 2 if I can the same shot, but if I kill one early, which I think actually happens in this fight, it's a problem because they straight up get revived. So you see, I don't have enough vigor to use the third skill, just to use the first one. And then I just keep rotating the same thing, right? Same thing over and over again. Let's see. Okay, I kill it. Watch this. See? Kill it. Boom. Straight up, fully revived. There's also part of that passive. It says there's a 5% chance that when somebody's killed, they counterattack and then they just straight up kill someone. You see, it's getting dodgy. The HP is getting really low, but I'm still doing okay. I'm still doing okay. Now again, see, some of them had it. I just keep having to RNG, get that good luck in there, and then it's gonna go. Now, you don't necessarily need to use Cailleach, right? You can use anybody else that brings you an AoE control. I just use Cailleach because it was the easiest one, the most relatable one, the one that most people can get, and it was the easiest for me to build. Now, if you have somebody like Merlin that does AoE freeze, he can be useful. If you have somebody else that does AoE stun, you can use them. Pretty much, you want somebody, like I said, in this fight that brings you that AoE control. You want to keep them to be stunned, or either have Oblivion. You see, now it worked. I killed them, and now I just go and I kill another 2, and this should be so much easier, as long as when I kill them again, they're not gonna have they're gonna be under the control. If they're not, it's gonna be a problem. See, root binding on that one, perfect. That means I can kill the one on the left. Right, there we go. I killed that one, and from here on it's easy clap. This one should not be getting a turn because again, I keep pushing the attack gauge back with my Morgan. I keep boosting the attack gauge with my Sergius so I can get more and more turns. And that's gonna be it, right? That's gonna be this fight done. You can see, luckily I keep it on, doesn't get a turn, and there we go, job done. Obviously most of the damage is done by Bedivere, but you can see quite a bit of damage from Morgan, some from Cailleach when he's the first skill or the third skill, and job done. Job done. This is how you deal with this fight. Now, let me show you the builds that I have on that team, so you kind of have an idea of what you're trying to aim for. Obviously, you want to have effect accuracy, speed, and then your damage dealer damage. So let's start with Bedivere. So Bedivere, 6-star awaken, level 60. You can see he has the first 2 passives skilled up. That's the one that you care about. Equipment, he's running counter stat, attack, and then a strife. Right, these are his total stats. Decent attack, decent crit damage. Obviously, I would like to get more attack, 5,000-6,000 when I can, but for now, this works just fine. I didn't really care about his attack speed because, it's not priority. One thing that I do focus a little bit on him as well is you're gonna see I do have some hit accuracy because you want him to be able to land. Otherwise, he can keep missing, and that's gonna be an issue. So that's Bedivere, and then when it comes to the relic, he's using the Frost one, which it's his best relic, but again, you can use whoever's going to be your best DPS. You'd prefer to have somebody that's a good DPS. That's the flame relic. I don't have anything else, so I just focus with this one. Next one. The next one, the team is going to be Sergius. You 100% want his flame relic. If you're lucky enough to have this fully skilled up, even better, because he's going to boost 60% attack gauge instead of 40 without any skill ups. I got lucky to get 1 skill, but you see I got unlucky. The other ones just went in the first and second skill. This is what you need. You really want this one. You can go with the storm one as well, but this one only gives you 25%, so it's not as good. That's why if you can just get the flame one, it's easy. You just buy it from the clan shop. There's not too many things you want to get from the clan shop anyway, so getting this one should be a priority because he's going to be used almost everywhere. I swear. I'm going to show you more teams of using him. He was in my team for Forbidden Dungeon from stage 1 till like now at the end, so he's definitely worth it. Then the build for him, one thing that I prefer and would really love, or like, you know, I suggest to try and get, is his third passive skilled up. If you get this one, pretty much every 3 turns he recharges 2 vigor. That's gonna help you so you can have enough vigor to use your skills. The other 2 I personally don't really care about. I'm not gonna skill them. I only cared about this one, and that's about it. I also did manage to land, I did buy another copy of him from Arena to give him this one, but honestly he just does not use he doesn't use this one too much, the first passive, right? So I don't land at attack speed decrease. If he does do that, he can land it, but honestly the way that I build him is I don't care about his effect accuracy, so he might not land that. Now let me show you the build. He's running a vigor set, that's the only thing I cared about, and as fast as I could get him. Obviously it's not fast enough, 196, but this is the best that I could do in my vigor set, and that's what I kept it. If you can get him faster in speed, you can try that, but I do believe vigor is more important on him because, again, you want him to keep spamming the third skill as often as possible, so that's why I went this way with him. Anything else, I don't really care. No other stat is, at least for this team that I'm using, I don't care. Just give him attack speed, give him vigor, and that's about it. And then again, he's 6-star, 3-star awakened, don't really, you know, attack speed on this one, effect, whatever on this one, they give some more attack speed, and that's about it. Next one. I guess we're gonna leave the MVP at the end. So Morgan, I had her in a speed set with accuracy, but I moved her in a vigor and accuracy because most of the places where I use Morgan, I want her to keep spamming the second skill. And if you don't have vigor, sometimes she cannot do it. But if you have vigor, she's always guaranteed to have enough vigor to use that second skill. Her total stats, 218 attack speed and then 76% effect accuracy. Honestly, for higher stages, I noticed that this one's not quite enough, like it can miss sometimes, but if you get around 70% or higher, that's going to be fine. You really want her draw to be fast, 200, 220, whatever you can, the fastest you can, in a vigor as well if you can do that. And that's just going to be perfect. For this one, honestly, for keepsake, I don't really care about anything. Then when it comes to skill ups, you really want the third passive to be skilled up. You want her to be to have 3 chivalry, right? Because this passive, then the Squall of Stones activates on any hit, not on just the first skill. So that's why if you get lucky and if you can, make sure this one's skilled up first, and then if you can do the second one as well to reduce the cooldown so she keeps pushing attack gauge more often back, then that's going to be amazing. And then the relic, I'm using a flame one. I don't have any other one. You might prefer maybe for other fights to get the other ones. For this one, the flame one's the best because the second skill, what she does, triple hit, and then she has a chance to decrease the attack gauge. This is really important. Push their attack gauge back. They're never getting turns, or you know, they're getting fewer turns, and that's really important. And now let's look at the MVP of this fight. That's going to be the uncommon Cailleach. You can see it's not even 60, just 6-star awaken, 6-star level 50, 5-star awaken. I skilled up the passes, but honestly, you don't really care. These ones don't matter for what you're going to use Cailleach for. Then when we're looking at Chivalry, just Chivalry 8, but these ones give stats, so you don't care. You can have Chivalry 1 and you're just fine. Just, it might be trickier to survive. However, this one worked for me. Then relic, the relics, this is really important. You don't want to go for flame one because flame lands confusion when attacks a random enemy or ally instead. I do not think that confusion stops them from using their passives. So the ones that I suggest is go with the storm relic or with the frost one. Obviously for this specific stage, you prefer the storm one because if you're going to do a bit of damage, it's going to be neutral, whereas frost is going to be wrong affinity, but frost will work as well because frost has a chance to land freeze, which same thing, no action can be taken during the turn, and then the one that actually is, like I said, storm, there's a 20% chance to land root binding, no action can be taken during turn, removed when caster is eliminated. So this one's the best one. Obviously if you can scale it up to increase the chance, it's going to be even better. I tried to scale it up, I just did not have enough books. You're going to need a ton to be able to get there, but eventually you're going to do it. And then when we're talking about Cailleach's build, same thing, vigor. I want to generate as much vigor as I can, but you also want to get effect accuracy. Again, 70% or higher, and then as much attack speed as you can get. These are the only stats that you care about, and to try and get vigor. But yeah, that pretty much covers it. This is my B92 team. Honestly, this is one of the most free-to-play teams that I could think of, because again, free Lego, uncommon, and then the damage dealer in Bedivere, again, can be anybody else. Whoever's your best damage dealer, that's who you're going to bring to the fight, and you're just going to use them to be able to slowly kill them out, and then pass and do the next stages. After I beat this one, everything else was full auto. But yeah, we're gonna leave it at this for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video is helpful for you. And if it is, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel to see when I upload next, clicking the link in the description or pinned comment of this video to support me as a content creator, and gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.
Fight with honor. Vanquish the wicked, and you may prove worthy of your legacy.